Hi, everyone. Welcome to Royal, Black, and Elite. I'm Lady TrenettWilson. Today's lecture I've been wanting to do a while. As we see more and more of our older stars pass away, I wanted to make sure to give respect to those who are still here. And this woman, Diana Ross, is 81 years old. And so I wanted to give her her flowers for the role that really took her from, she was already popular, she was already a star, but I think took her into icon status. Because before then, you didn't really see a singer move over to being an actress like she was being. And not only just an actress, but a fantastic actress. Now, she was a member of the Supremes from 1959 to 1970, but the movie that she played in, Lady Sings the Blues, didn't come out till 1972. Now, it depicted the life of Billie Holiday, who was a singer, and it starred she and Billy D. Williams. Now, ladies, put a like down below if Billy D. Williams was your playboy friend back then, or at least your mama's playboy friend. So, this beautiful man, and it was the first time that black audiences saw such a beautiful couple tell such an ugly story, the story of Billie Holiday. Now, Billie Holiday was born on April the 7th, 1915 in Philadelphia. And she was just an absolutely beautiful singer. And you see in this movie, it captures her journey from singing, how she began, to the end of her life. Of course, there were a lot of changes. One big change is at the beginning of the story, in, by the way, spoilers alert, and I'm leaving Lady Sings the Blues down below so you can watch this. It came out in 1972, and Barry Gordy actually produced it. Motown produced it. So, I mean, what a beautiful movie. It also had Richard Pryor in the movie. And so it opens up with her actually being violated. Now, in the movie, it says that she's 15, but in real life, Billie Holiday was only 10 years old when she was violated by this nasty old man. And as a result of that, she kind of went down a road where she had become a woman of disrepute. Let's just put it like that. In the movie, it showed that you could get 10 minutes for $2. So that's pretty terrible. Now, her mother's name was Sadie, and she wanted to go back and live with her mom, but she wasn't able to. So she had to go back and live with this lady in Harlem, and that's where she was cleaning floors. And she was born, of course, in Philadelphia, but she was in Harlem at this time. So she was cleaning up. She wasn't really making any money. And in the movie, you see the music catch her attention. And that's where I think the music is really where she fell in love. For the first time, she really loved something. And so she went over there and looked at the girls dancing and just the whole scene, and it was something that really stuck with her. Now, mind you, at the time, she was only 15 years old. So after she thought about it and was broke, she went ahead and started, living that life. So one night she walks into the cabaret and sings. Now, the reason she does that is because she had finally had enough of these nasty old men. So she goes into the cabaret to sing, and there's where she meets Billy D. Williams. And that's where the story really picks up and her career picks up. We see Billy go on this journey of music. And what's sad is, even though she was the best singer ever during that period, she wasn't able to sing because of racism. So she had to go on the chitlin circuit, going to the bathroom from the back, and never sit in the front and she could perform for all white audiences, but she could not eat with them, sleep with them, at least not in public, or should I say at the hotel room, and couldn't use the bathroom or drink water after them. So it was a lot of racism of the people that she had to entertain. And I can only imagine the significant weight that put on Billy. And so here she was during a time of this, and she wrote a song called Strange Fruit, which landed her on the FBI watched list. So she actually really ran into a lot of trouble about that, because she definitely was talking about something the government didn't want her to talk about. And so we see Billy spiral out of control with drug use. And in this particular movie, they really pointed out the substance abuse more than anything. But in real life, Billie was also a really bad alcoholic. She drank a lot. And when we get to her end, we'll see that that played a significant role in her passing. So here you have Billie. She's on the road. She's met Louis McKay. They're married. And this is her boo. Now, in the movie, it seems like she is really in love and he treats her really well. But in real life, they say that's not the way it was. He was abusive and he really abandoned her. But in this abandonment and on this road, this Chitlin circuit, facing all of what she was facing, is when she got involved with drugs. And sadly, she was never able to recover from that. And so we see her spiral. In fact, when the movie opens up, we see Billie in an asylum. This is where she was put, and she was, in the room by herself, and Louis comes and saves her from that, and on this road to recovery, but she never really recovers. One of the most, prolific scenes in the whole movie. Again, spoiler, I left the movie down below. You still go watch it, because I think I'm doing a great job of bringing it alive for you, but to watch it is, you will understand how Diana became an icon after her depiction of Billie Holiday. Because what you see is Louis was on the road with her and he was trying to keep her straight. So after she leaves the asylum and trying to recover, Louis goes with her on the road for a while, but he has to leave and tend to business, quote, air quotes. And they said he was in true life a mafia enforcer. So I don't know how true that is, but allegedly. So he leaves. Well, Piano Man, who's played by Richard Pryor, is supposed to, look after her, watch over her while she's there. But she starts to kind of fiend and she wants a little something. So Piano Man said, listen, I'll go out and I'll go get you something, because at the time they didn't have any money. Can you imagine being on the road all your life and not having any money? So Piano Man goes out and gets with the person that he knows to, get her some stuff. Well, what ends up happening is he didn't pay the people. And so the people come looking for them. And they find them and they hurt Piano Man. And that's really what changed. Billie just went down, down, down from that. Man, that scene, woo! Y'all, you have to watch this movie. A really great movie. It was nominated for several Oscars, and she was even nominated for Best Actress. That's how good the movie was. It came out in 1972. By the way, Diana was born on March the 26th, 1944 in Detroit, Michigan. And shout out to Detroit, because let me tell you, she brought that role alive. Now, the end of the story, Billie passed away on July the 17th, 1959, and at a hospital, at the Metropolitan Hospital in New York, of heart failure and cirrhosis of the liver. So that was the real cause of her passing, was the drinking. Sadly, she was handcuffed to the bed, and all who was in the room with her was a nurse and a reporter. And a cop on the outside of the room. A woman of this stature who had given so much to the world in music. This is how her life ended. So they showed it a little bit in the movie, but they didn't really capture how cold-blooded she really passed away. Handcuffed to the bed, police in there, on the outside, looking over her. Scandalous and disrespectful, in my opinion. So that is the movie Lady Sings the Blues. Please tell me down below, have you seen it? Did you enjoy it? How did you think Diana did? Do you agree with me? Have you seen an actress who can play, who could bring a part alive like Diana did? I believe that's what brought her to icon status. So I want to thank you for joining me for another great episode of Royal Black and Elite. I love to give my roses, and I appreciate you letting me give hers today. Would you put a like down below so that she knows we love her and care? Now, like, share, and subscribe, and leave your comment. And keep learning by clicking on the videos down below. YouTube seems to think you'll like this one right here. Thank you for joining me.